chicken it and make her name it gay!
G'day guys and welcome back to Casual Rage. Prepare to start the show, R2. This is where the fun begins. Hello everyone and welcome to Casual Rage 182. That's right. Am I right? Yes, 182. I hope you're all doing well. I got a new mic, everyone. So tell me if I'm coming through too loud, blasting your eardrums out. But yeah, I picked up a new mic because my other one was starting to have a few issues with it. So I decided to upgrade. But I hope you're all doing well. We've got a little bit to talk about today. We've got, obviously, some Star Wars news. I went and saw Deadpool 3. You can see my review I went and saw it with Shadowversity. So you can see my review over on Night's Watch. If you're not subscribed to Night's Watch, go over and give them a sub over there, even though they've already got way more subs than I do. So I'm guessing that most of you are probably already subbed there. But if you're not, go over and check that out. We do go into a little bit of non-spoiler stuff first. And then we definitely let everyone know when we're starting to get into the breakdown and the spoilers of it. I do want to reassess my rating of the movie. It's funny, when you come straight out of a movie and you've seen a few things that you've got problems with, but you still enjoyed yourself. It was a bit of a hard one to just come immediately out of the theater and sort of give a rating on it without sort of thinking about it too much. But we'll get into that. We've got obviously Acolyte stuff. I want to talk a little bit about Leslie Headland. We've got Star Wars Outlaws. Excuse me. We've got Star Wars Outlaws. I'm actually thinking about giving up the smokes, but I want to replace it with cigars. I really enjoy smoking cigars. So I might do that. We've got, some more Star Wars news. And then, I don't know, we've got to finish Grizzy's video, episode 8. The Shills react to episode 8 of The Acolyte, while obviously we're doing Seal of the Week. So, yeah, we do have a bit to get through. I hope you're all doing well. Sorry I was late. I had a couple of things that I had to actually just duck out for and go and get before I started the stream. So I had to go down to the shop and get some stuff, and it delayed me a little bit. But let's quickly say hello and see who we've got here in the chat. We've got Tilliams in here. How you doing? Going to come back and rewatch. We've got Darth Ghostface. We've got Jordan. We've got John 42. We've got Ryan Gosling. We've got Tyron Azilla. How you doing? Oh, excuse me. Let's see. I started watching Attack on Titan. It's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. We've got Lara A. How you doing? Star Wars Marvel Purist. Now, guys, we started, I think it was just before the Acolyte came out. We started going through the Plagueis novel. We got 20 chapters in over 2 streams. We're going to finish it, and it's probably going to be next week. Just so you all know, over on Justin's channel, Star Wars Marvel Purist. So if you're not subscribed, go and subscribe and hit your bell for notifications so you get notified when we are going to finish that off. But we definitely need to finish that. Melissa Lord, good to see you. Let's see who else we got here. Papa Palpatine's Pizza Padawan. How you doing? Let's take a look. Darth Undercover. Hello. Steezo for Life is in the chat. Mr. Grant Gregory, how you doing? He's just watched Deadpool and Wolverine. He's got a bit to say about it. I don't know. I'm still. I gave it a 5 out of 10. I think it might be a little bit better than that. I was actually thinking about how much sort of fun I did have with it. And the funny thing is the more I think about it, the more I sort of go a bit up and down with it. First of all, just because something's not woke doesn't mean it's good. And the fact that they're making fun of like a lot of stuff and a lot of wokeness and a lot of crap going on dates it. I don't know how this movie is going to age as well. So that's just a couple of my additional thoughts on the movie, but it was fun. I definitely sat there with a smile on my face most of the movie. But yeah, we'll talk about it. We got Butcher in the chat. How you doing? Mike Hill's here. How you doing, Mike? Good to see you. Fear of FEMA, the operator. Let's see. Oh, you watched it? Yeah, I felt a little disappointed coming straight out of the theater because it's kind of like we said in the review, there's not a lot of substance to it. And when you actually probably dive deeper into it, there's actually probably a couple of things that don't make any sense. Now, is it supposed to be that way? I don't know whether or not you could have still done it better where it had a bit more meaning behind it. I kind of feel. Where the story actually meant more. It was nice seeing some of almost seeing a page from a comic book put onto the screen. You know, there's this one moment that really sticks out in my head. Well, there's kind of 2 moments that really stick out in my head, and it's just a still shot like Wolverine and Deadpool coming out the end of the bus. The way that image looked was really cool. And the other thing that I really liked was Gambit in action. But that's it. Oh, spoilers if shit. This is the other thing too, is I don't want to talk about it too much. I want people to more so see it and judge for themselves. I want to see what people say about it before they get influenced by people. Because this is the thing too. One thing that I've noticed is when you listen to somebody's thoughts on the movie or on a movie before you've seen it yourself, even if it's a non-spoiler review or something that you're watching, and that person at the end says that they really liked it and they thought it was really good, you almost go in with this expectation that it's going to be really good, and you start watching it through the lens of it being really good already. And that's not to say that everybody does that, but it definitely, I reckon, plays a role in how it sort of peters through the lines of people watching it, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I didn't think it was as good as what some people were hyping it up to be. The advertising for it definitely got me hyped. And I'm glad I watched it. It was fun, and there were definitely moments where I literally laughed out loud. But is it as good as the first one? No. Is it as good as the second one? Some people will probably say that it's better than the second one. I don't know. I think the second one had a better story. It connected better with the first one. Yeah. Margaret Wood, I see you in the chat too. How you doing? Let's see. Lisa Roberts is here. Mr. Bantham. Blake's in the chat. Will it resonate? I don't know. I'm actually really curious to see what people say about it and how people feel. Really curious. I'm glad you at least enjoyed it. Yeah, look, it was enjoyable. It was fun. It was a fun movie. But I do definitely still feel like this is the thing where everything happens and where you get all your cameos and stuff. It's in a part of the universe that doesn't matter. So this is the thing. They could have gone even further. They could have done even more with it. Because it's just the garbage of the universe that the TVA is getting rid of. So it's kind of like the majority of the time we're sitting in the void. And again, like I said, you can do whatever the hell you want because in the void, nothing matters. You know? So anyway, we will get into that a little bit more and I'll give my thoughts on it a little bit more as we go through the stream. But we're all caught up pretty much. Hello, everyone, again. And please do smash the like button. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. Let's get into... I want to get the Star Wars stuff pretty much sort of out of the way. Now, there's a fair bit of Star Wars stuff, as we usually talk about. But it's just... I do find it funny that they are, of course, pushing this. They really want this season 2 to happen. I reckon they're pushing as hard as they're pushing because they've already got a season 2, but they just need to see the numbers. They just need to see it, and I say go for it. Go for it. Do your season 2. Why not? At this stage, everything is already fucked. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, really, at the end of the day. It's not good. Disney Star Wars isn't Star Wars, and these people complaining. Somebody on Twitter the other day was like, I hate it when people call it Disney Star Wars. It's just all Star Wars. And it's like, no, there is a fair distinction between Disney Star Wars and real Star Wars. Definitely. And it's like I've said before, as soon as you start destroying lore, canon, and continuity from real Star Wars, that's when it ceases to be Star Wars. You might have your jangling keys there. You might get your lightsabers. You might get this and that and everything else that relates to Star Wars. But it's not. It's not. And the first thing that I actually wanted to bring up is what inspired Leslie Headland. Like, what actually inspired Leslie Headland in making this show, The Acolyte? What actually, what did she take from? And there's a lot of... It's funny because throughout this entire series, from before it started up until even more recently, it seems that the inspiration for this show continues to change. Let me bring this up. So you'll all remember, before the show even came out, What was it that was the inspiration behind the Acolyte? It was Frozen meets Kill Bill. Everything you need to know about the Acolyte. Star Wars The Acolyte. It was Frozen meets Kill Bill. Now, after watching the series, going back and thinking about this, like, what are you talking about? Where's the Frozen element in this series? Where's the Kill Bill element in this series? Is it just because it's a revenge plot? Not that the revenge really, like, it's so convoluted in regards to the revenge that we see in this show. But is that what related it to Kill Bill? I still don't see the connection or the distinction with the Frozen stuff. I certainly don't see that. But it goes even further, right? The Acolyte was inspired by this iconic Star Wars game. And she's talking about Darth Treya. Apathy is death. You know, and it's funny, she talks about how she wants to reference, or she wants to bring in or mention Darth Bane. Darth Bane's 1,000 years in the past. This is where you start to see the disconnect from actual Star Wars. She goes on to talk about how she is a massive Star Wars fan still, and, you know, she was sort of nerding out basically about the possibility of bringing him in or mentioning it or something. But this is the thing. As soon as you've got established lore on a character and the way the character is and the lifespan of a character and all of these sorts of things, and as soon as you start changing that, it no longer is Star Wars anymore, right? But again, so she was inspired by Darth Treya. She was inspired by this iconic character in an iconic Star Wars game. But then what else inspired her? Oh, as we're coming through and we get to see what Smilo without a shirt on, Elden Ring players inspired Star Wars The Acolyte villain. Okay. So we've gone from Frozen meets Kill Bill to Darth Treya being an inspiration to Elden Ring being an inspiration. And what's the newest one? Cowboy Bebop. The Acolyte creator, Leslie Headland, says Disney Star Wars series was tonally inspired by Cowboy Bebop. What are you talking about, Leslie? This is what I mean when I say that she's completely... She's one of those chronic liars. She's lied about being a Star Wars fan. She doesn't know what she's pulling inspiration from. Like, why? It would make more sense to me if she was to say that she was inspired by The Fugitive, because we get a scene from The Fugitive. Or, you know, the amount of plagiarized stuff that we saw in this series. You had the moment where Smilo says, oh, only what you take with you, copying Yoda from Empire Strikes Back. Or you've got him, again, the same character, plagiarizing lines from Palpatine or the Emperor in Return of the Jedi. You know, strike me down or strike him down and you'll become more powerful, or whatever the actual line is that he says. They obviously change it a little bit. They obviously change it so that it's not like complete plagiarize. It's like what they did with Luke Skywalker when he was training Grogu in the Book of Boba Fett, right? They said, don't try, do. Instead of do or do not, there is no try, especially missing out on one of the most important parts of that entire lesson is the do not part. You know, they decided to put a little twist on it so that they can't say, or the fans can't say, oh, you're completely plagiarizing this, even though they basically are. But you know, the biggest thing that I see missing from everything that Leslie has said that inspired her about this show? What do you guys see? What do you guys see? I see that she wasn't even inspired by Star Wars. She's inspired by everything else. And like I said, ripping off scenes from, you know, you could even argue that she ripped off stuff from The Matrix with the style of fighting. And she also ripped stuff off from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon with the floating people and all these little bits and pieces that she's just ripped off from other things that are way better than what she could come up with. But wouldn't one of the biggest things that inspire you to make something to do with Star Wars be Star Wars? Now, you could argue, what are you talking about, Rhino? You've just mentioned that she was plagiarizing stuff from Star Wars. Yes, it's one thing to plagiarize from Star Wars. It's another thing to actually just make Star Wars and be inspired by Star Wars and Star Wars that came before. The only thing close to her mentioning that she was inspired by Star Wars is from a video game. And why? Probably because it's a woman. Honestly, it's probably because she's a woman. And I actually have no doubt that she actually doesn't know the character. But again, like I said, everything that she's done, everything that has inspired her in this series has nothing to do with Star Wars. And then everything that I see that she mentions inspired her, whether it be Frozen, Kill Bill, Darth Treya, the Elden Ring reference, which I didn't even understand, or even Cowboy Bebop, I don't see any of that in any of the Acolyte. And it blows my mind that she can't even say that maybe the biggest thing that should inspire her is Star Wars. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. You know, this was another thing too, is like she actually truly thinks that she's been able to top the Phantom Menace fight, the Duel of the Fates, and the Matrix train station scene fight. So it's not about being inspired by other Star Wars projects or being inspired by the Matrix. You've got to come out there and say that you're beating it. It's funny, you know, how she didn't mention that there was any inspiration from the Matrix, or that there is any inspiration from the Phantom Menace or any other Star Wars, as I mentioned. When that you see those connections, like I said, with the Matrix, the style of fighting and everything. Leslie destroyed Star Wars. I don't think that it's already been destroyed. She's just helping beat the dead horse, the corpse. So I thought that was funny. I honestly thought it was kind of hilarious. When you've got the creator of this Star Wars show not being inspired by anything to do with Star Wars, and every other reference or plagiarized thing, scene, line, whatever, that she took from something better wasn't even mentioned in any of the inspirational stuff for her. But all the inspirational stuff for her, I can't see any of it. And this is what makes me think that it's just word vomit coming out of her mouth to try and get the Frozen fans to come and watch Star Wars, to try and get the Kill Bill fans, the Elden Ring fans, the Cowboy Bebop fans, when there is no connection to those things whatsoever. So keep trying, Leslie. I have no doubt that you're going to get your season 2. The campaign started before the series ended. The funny thing is it was a Renew the Acolyte hashtag that started all of this. Why are they advocating for Renew the Acolyte when they don't even know whether or not a season 2 is being greenlit or not? It's kind of funny that they're already out there on the front foot knowing that they need to push for a season 2. Isn't it? Hey, Jacob. Wolfram Hart, how you doing? So, yeah. And let me actually bring this forward. Where is it? Let me get this out of the way. So I saw this, and I'm not having it anymore. For those people out there that want a white knight for Dave Filoni, go for it. You know, I came out with a video, I think, and obviously I've been talking a fair bit on Twitter about how Dave Filoni and his involvement in a lot of these projects, especially being the Acolyte, being that was the main topical thing at the time. But he definitely had involvement in Obi-Wan Kenobi, which we all know is a disaster and completely destroys lore, canon continuity, all of that sort of thing. He had involvement in Boba Fett. He's had involvement in all of these projects, and the promotion that he got when they updated the website in 2023, I think it was for him, or it was either late 23 or early 24, to make him the chief creative officer. He had that promotion in 2021, and it just took him a while to actually update the website. But even when they came out with that announcement in 2021, there's articles that do state that he's had this position for a while. So why can he have that position, and that like people actually have this distinction that both positions are completely different, which I don't think that they are. I think that they just retitled the position, right? But if he was able to have that job, and he's had that job for a while, it's the same thing with the chief creative officer role. People want to say, oh, the Acolyte script was done before Dave Filoni had any involvement. Well, you can't really say that. And prior to even this coming out, Leslie said that she'd spoken to Dave about everything, wanting to make sure that the canon and continuity and all of that sort of thing was in line, which they failed miserably at. Now, Lucas Star Wars Girl, I wish you would, because I don't know who posted. This is obviously a Twitter post, and I don't know whose thumbnail that kind of looks like. Anyway, Dave Filoni addresses Leslie Headland with the Acolyte by providing his extensive Star Wars lore expertise. Sorry. Let me get this really quickly for $2. Thank you very much for that. Rescue Dave Filoni's dog. He doesn't need. He's standing right next to his dog, right there. Thank you for that. So Dave's overall deep understanding of the galaxy far, far away helped shape the series. Oh, isn't that interesting? It helped shape the series. People wanted to say that he had no involvement in it. I'm sorry, but this vindicates me and a lot of others. Ryan Kennel's been saying it for a lot longer than even I have in regards to Dave Filoni and how much of a hack he is. Narrative characters and connections to the broader Star Wars universe. Just to finish that off. Dave Filoni had involvement, guys. He was there. He was there helping. He was making sure that it was all, Like, I don't know. He was supposed to be making sure that it was all okay. Supposed to be. Actually, wouldn't mind knowing where the source is for this. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can. Sorry, guys. Give me a sec. Dave. That was a month ago. No. Oh, that's YouTube videos. Sorry, hold on. Huh. Here's another article that I've just seen the headline for. That Park Place. John F. Trent. The Acolyte showrunner Leslie Headland justifies further destroying Yoda's character by pointing to Dave Filoni's The Clone Wars. Gee, being that Leslie isn't a fan, and I have no doubt that she's probably never even watched an episode of The Clone Wars, who gave her that justification? Oh, yeah, we can do that. You know why we can do that? Because in my series, this is Dave Filoni, I can't do the voice, sorry. In my series of The Clone Wars, we did this. I'm not going to go through and read this. I might go through and read it a bit later. Because you know me. I'll just fuck it up and it won't be enjoyable for you guys. But, yeah. Let me see if I can find, because I want to see. Oh, maybe it was in an interview with them together. What's this? How long is... Oh, okay. Let's just see if this is it. This is from Star Wars' own website. If I can talk.
Star Wars.
That sounds good.
That does sound good.
That actually
Let's
sounds
do it.
really good.
Tell me about the Acolyte.
I'm sorry, just you asking me that question.
The fact that they're even doing this, like, is enough for me. Wouldn't Dave, if Dave knew his stuff and was actually being honorable to George Lucas and George Lucas Star Wars, wouldn't you think that, I mean, and this isn't just me saying this. It's not just Star Wars Theory saying this. This is majority of Star Wars fans that have seen this garbage that they came out with that are actually saying that there's problems with it when it comes to lore. This guy's supposed to be the gatekeeper. This guy's supposed to be the one that knows and tells people yay or nay on whether or not they can actually do a certain thing.
Making me cry.
Is it? That's all right.
Yeah.
It is a big deal to a lot of people. It affects people in different ways, and this is your story, so.
What I was interested in examining were the Sith. The master-apprentice dynamic. If the apprentice is craving the master's power, then at some point he must recruit his apprentice to overthrow the master.
Yeah.
And that is the Acolyte.
Right.
See, this is where, why are you just sitting there saying, right, Dave? I have no doubt that you've read this, and I have no doubt that you know this, especially from the Darth Bane stuff. But an apprentice does not recruit their own apprentice so that they can team up and power up and take down the master. That actually goes against the entirety of what the rule of two stands for. You should know that. If I know that, he knows that. Catch you later, Ryan Gosling. Good to see you, buddy. And I will get those super chats shortly.
Who trained you?
You don't wake up thinking you're evil or that you're the
Sure.
bad guy, as explored by George and Anakin.
Yeah, I don't think Anakin ever thinks he becomes evil.
I
In
agree,
life,
and I
you
think a
know.
lot of the characters in the Acolyte have to convince themselves that they are
Doing the right thing.
they're doing the right thing.
Oh, why do they need to convince themselves? Why can't they just be doing the right thing?
This is the Clone Wars.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ahsoka was such an interesting character to me.
When we started, we had it very much a shell shock moment for her that she was out of her depth. And I'll never forget it. George watching it and saying, "You guys are taking this a bit too seriously." He went on to explain that, like, even at a young age, she's not out of her depth for any of this.
I had a similar experience with
Yeah,
the
of
character
course.
Jackie. There was a note from somebody that was, wouldn't she be scared on her first mission? And I remember you telling me about that story.
Jedi training has to be valuable. It prepares them for the galaxy.
Do or do not.
Do or do not, there's no try. That's like, if you're trying, you're not actually doing it.
I had to do that with Acolyte for sure. My agreement with myself was whenever it overwhelms you that you're doing your dream, you just have to do
Bullshit.
it. Honestly, the times that I felt the most worried was not the special effects, the fighting choreography. It was the emotional stuff.
Oh my God. Of course that's what it was for you, Leslie.
These things that George understood about filmmaking, understood about iconography, are things we still try to tap into.
It's the Western. It's the samurai film. It has to feel elevated, but it also has to feel like Star Wars. Basically, what
It's too bad that everything that you made felt nothing like Star Wars.
George created, it's the North Star.
What are you?
Is that it? Okay, that's obviously not where they say. But again, like the fact that they're sitting there and they're having these discussions, and again, Filoni's not correcting her on anything. Like, especially that first thing that she said about the Sith, and how the apprentice, that dynamic, right? I hate the fact that they even removed calling them an apprentice. It's a pupil of theirs. Oh, but Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope said that Vader was his pupil without referring to him as Anakin. This is the thing. Like, I don't really necessarily have a problem with that because Obi-Wan was trying to keep the truth away from Luke. And why is that? Why? Because actually Yoda's the one that told him that he needs to keep this from Luke for as long as possible. That Vader is his father. And that's lore. That's just giving you more. You don't get to see that in Revenge of the Sith or any of those, but in the novel you get to hear that extra bit of the conversation. Or was it Yoda or was it Qui-Gon? Now I'm confusing myself. Might have been. Oh, now I'd have to go back and check. It's one of them. It's definitely one of them. Anyway, Dave Filoni helped Leslie Headland with the Acolyte. If that's not enough for you to get off the Dave Filoni is the right person bandwagon, then you're asking. It's kind of like any of the people that did praise, even going all the way back to The Mandalorian, without asking questions, blindly watching without asking questions. Basically, we've now gotten to a point where what we've got from Star Wars is to some degree your fault. It is. Because they see that they don't need to answer the questions because you don't care about the answer of those questions. You don't care that they destroy these little, like, this is the thing. This is why nitpicks, like, I think nitpicks and calling out nitpick problems are important, because you allow this little thing that might be a nitpick that destroys a little piece of lore, that it could be a throwaway thing. But look at where we are now with space travel time. Look at where we are now with hyperspace travel. It's now come to a point where, like, I've been saying it for ages, but nobody else seems to notice. Nobody seems to see that in The Mandalorian, the same thing happens when it comes to travel time. And that's why they were able to give him an N1 Starfighter as a ship, because he doesn't need to sit in a cockpit for a week traveling across the galaxy, because he's just there when he needs to be there. There's no pit stops along the way. But then it takes a show like this and a channel as big as Ryan's for him to come out and say one of his biggest pet peeves with this entire show is the travel time, is the time duration, and the fact that nothing else moves forward in time with the story to line up with when people arrive at certain places. Been saying it for ages. Been saying it since the rise of Skywalker, the rise of Palpatine, with the hyperspace skipping. That's not how that works. That's not how the Force works. Let's play it. If I can find it.
That's not how the Force works.
It's not. And Dave Filoni is intricately involved with all elements of that. How do you justify those things in The Mandalorian? Oh, Dave had nothing to do with those episodes. They were Kathleen Kennedy's episodes. Is that what we're supposed to say? Is that what it is? It was a lie that Kathleen Kennedy wasn't allowed on set, and she came in and said, no, we need to speed this up. We need to make sure that he gets to that planet, right when he needs to be at that planet. I've said it before. Things just happen to happen because they need to happen. Crazy. Riff Magos for $5 says Filoni simps are the worst. Get them with rage, Rhino. Oh man, there'll be moments, don't get me wrong, where the rage will always come back. It's always there. I'm always angry, like the Hulk. But like with stuff like this now, I just can't help but laugh, because for the entirety of this series, right, I've been saying this is Dave Filoni approved Star Wars. This is Dave Filoni approved Star Wars. And people are still coming out and saying, no, he had nothing to do with it. This whole thing was completed before he got his promotion. Keep lying to yourself. Keep justifying it. You know why? Because that means that you're okay with getting garbage Star Wars based on everything that we've been getting. You're okay with that because it's Dave Filoni. The name is all that matters. The result or the project or whatever it is doesn't. The operator for $2 says, I love you, Melvin and Mr. Grizzy. Keep going. Sorry. Why sorry? Don't need to be sorry. Thank you. Yes, Melvin and Grizzy. And they've been doing their little collab thing, which has been really cool. Yeah. Thank you for the super chats. Let's see. That's exactly right. Why do you care about the thing that you love that's being ruined? It's not because we want to hate it. I certainly don't want to hate Star Wars. A lot of the people that have been doing their reviews don't want to hate Star Wars. The ones that do hate this, they don't want to hate it. I want Star Wars to be good. I want it to be really good. But unfortunately, like Purple Sky says, Star Wars is dead. And Disney killed it. Disney killed it. And they continue to kill it more and more and more. And this is why they've actually, with the amount of destruction that they've done, it's actually made it easier now for me to separate the two. Isn't that funny? When it took me ages to rewatch any of the original trilogy or any of the prequels. It took me ages because I didn't want to watch it with. I didn't want to rewatch any of those movies through a lens of this is the result and this is where we get to anyway. So none of this stuff matters anymore. But the more damage that they've been able to do within their own canon has given me the ability to separate it more. So now I can sit there and I can watch the OT, or I can sit there and I can watch the prequels, or I can sit there and I can read one of the EU books without thinking to myself, well, none of this matters anymore. I don't think that anymore. They're just two separate things. This is the real galaxy far, far away. This is real Star Wars. The EU, the movies, that's it. This over here is a parody. It's a mockery. It's an abomination of what this really is. The more that they've done damage to Obi-Wan Kenobi and Vader and Anakin in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, the more shit that they did with Boba Fett. And like, this is the crazy thing, is that lore and canon and continuity doesn't just isolate within the broader realms of the galaxy. It doesn't just isolate within an individual character or the way Jedi are or anything like that. It can be on a broad scale, like Tatooine. Just the planet of Tatooine has a rich amount of lore and canon just related to that planet. And one of those things are the Tusken Raiders, the Sand People. A great book to get a bit of that kind of lore is actually the Obi-Wan Kenobi novel. But when they did it and what they did in the Book of Boba Fett, it does damage to Tatooine lore. Different spaceships have different lore to them. Depends on the hyperdrive that they've got, what level of hyperdrive that they've got, if they've even got a hyperdrive. You know, this is the thing. Leslie Headland's the kind of person that would make a TIE fighter fly through hyperspace. Anybody that knows Star Wars and knows the lore of that kind of ship understands that there is no hyperdrive on a TIE fighter. Now, I think there are... No, actually, I don't think there are. Maybe because the bombers, they've got a bigger... But I don't even think they've got a hyperdrive on them. I could be wrong. There might be some TIEs that do actually have hyperdrive on them. But a TIE fighter like that has no hyperdrive. But this is how dumb these creators at Lucasfilm are. And it wouldn't surprise me if Dave Filoni just did it because he needed to do it at this point in time. So yes, lore, canon, and continuity can involve, I should say, more so, the entire galaxy, right? But then within that galaxy, you've got characters, you've got species of characters, how long they live for, how long they another great example of actually that is Grogu. He's a 50-year-old being who's still a toddler that has his faculties and can understand yes, no, right? Can't speak at 50 years old, but then like you look at Yoda and him being 900 years old and him saying that he trained Jedi for 800 years, like that means that well, we're only really 50 years off Grogu. Well, really, at the time that we end seeing Grogu, it's actually more like he's 60 years old, something like that. Because time's got to go by, right? So different species. And this is the thing with Ki-Adi-Mundi, right? His species only lives a certain age. Fuck his date of birth, right? For a second. The species only lives to max 65, 70 years old. But they've now made him 100 and something years old. When that specific species doesn't even live that long. That's Star Wars lore. And that's what they break when they do stuff like what they're doing. The Obi-Wan Kenobi fight. Every Star Wars fan ever that's a true, real Star Wars fan, when we finally got to see the fight on Mustafar, the line of the circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Had so much more meaning when it was just that than what they filled the gap with. And how much that filler that they put in filling the gap did to that line, the destruction that it did to that line. That is destroying Star Wars lore. That is destroying Star Wars canon. That's what it is that we're talking about. It's like I put that tweet out there. Somebody put out a tweet saying the Acolyte does not destroy or does not break canon, right? And I retweeted it, and it ended up with 3,500 likes on it. And I said the Acolyte does destroy or did destroy breaks canon. And then you got people in the comments saying, how? Can you articulate how? And my question immediately is, I'm not going to sit here and type it to you and then type it to you and type it to you, because there's multiple people in there that are asking that. But why do you feel it necessary to tell people that it doesn't break canon? Is it because there's multiple people out there saying that it does break canon, giving their references, giving their examples of why it does break canon, and all you can say is, no, it doesn't? %. How can you say it doesn't break canon when the proof is right in front of you? It's like that Mary Sue chick that did the interview with Leslie Headland. Oh, it's just about a birthday. It was stupid. It's not just about a birthday. It's not stupid. We need to keep these things in line so that we, the audience, can believe that this universe, this galaxy far, far away, is a real world. You know, George R.R. Martin came out recently with a really good statement about why canon is important, basically. I should actually find it and bring it up. I won't do it now. I might at least bring it up next week. Because lore, canon, and continuity is important to these universes that are created. It's like saying, like, okay, so we're going to do a video, we're going to do a film, and we're going to call it Hacksaw Ridge, right? And it's going to be based on Desmond Doss, the soldier that saved all of these other soldiers during this war, blah, 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 blah. And it's going to be based in true events. And then you have a Terminator show up. That's what it's like. Destroying lore, canon, and continuity. And Dave Filoni is right on board with it. He is right there with them. Happy to destroy George Lucas's Star Wars to prop up his own version of Star Wars that is manipulated and manipulated is the best word. Manipulated by the message and by You don't need to be a good storyteller. You don't need to know Star Wars. You don't need any of these things. I'm really interested to see how Andor Season 2 goes. You know why I'm interested in regards to that? Because no one gave a shit about it. The people that did give it a little bit of a chance, most of them got bored and stopped after episodes 2 or 3. But when everybody out there talks about Star Wars and everything that Disney's done, the exception is always Andor. Oh, except for Andor. Except for Andor. And I personally think that Andor it's just as bad. It's got a through line. It's got a story that it's telling. Yes. That's the one thing that makes it maybe better than anything else that we've got, because everything else is just literally the flashing stuff on the screen. But Andor we've gone through it. I went through it all last week. I'm not going through it again. Brett for $2 says the Cuntox is on. I don't know. Did I miss something? Thank you for the $2. But yeah, Dave Filoni is very heavily involved with everything that we're getting. This is the thing that makes me really curious to see. Is it supposed to be cunt? So let's say we get the Mandalorian Grogu movie 2026. We get the Rey movie. Who knows when that's fucking slated for, to be honest. Let's say we get Skeleton Crew. And all of these things do damage to Star Wars, which I'm actually expecting. I'm actually expecting that. How are they going to justify that Dave Filoni didn't have involvement? Oh, he got demoted during this time period. He wasn't actually doing his role as chief creative officer because Kathleen Kennedy wanted her way. When is Skeleton Crew supposed to take place again? Give me a sec here, guys. No, we don't want a release date. We want... when it takes place. Nine years after the Battle of Yavin. Nine years after the Battle of Yavin. 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So it's around basically the same time as The Mandalorian, right? Because The Mandalorian was 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Am I correct? No, 10. Season 1. Timeline. Oh, no. 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Okay, so this takes place the same time as... Hang on. Yeah. Sorry. So, yeah, 9 years after the Battle of Yavin and 5 years after Return of the Jedi, Battle of Endor. So, yeah, Skeleton Crew is going to take place around that same time. What are they going to do? Rhino didn't get Tassie speak. No, I didn't get it. Fucking mainlanders. Tassie. Tassie. Are you from Tassie? Are you, Brad? Tasmania. No, I didn't get your Tassie speak. Isn't that funny? Let's see. Mr. Bantham for $5 says the difference between a great writer and a mediocre one is, can you write a great story in a world with rules not set by you? Yes, that's true. I don't think they can. That's exactly though what we're talking about when we talk about the destruction of lore, canon, and continuity. Because the laws are basically the rules that are made, right? So when we hear in A New Hope, when we hear Han Solo talking about putting in the destination into the Navi computer before they just launch into hyperspace, and the line that he gets given bounces off a supernova, and I can't remember the exact line, that establishes lore within that universe. And then, of course, that law gets broken with hyperspace skipping to start with. But I think it was way more evident in the Acolyte. And that's why people really started to talk about it and see it when it comes to travel time and stuff like that. But I've been saying it for ages because I've noticed it for ages. So, yeah. Dave Filoni is all on board with all of that stuff. All of that stuff. Jace for his 12-month membership. That's a year, buddy. How you doing? Good to see ya. Says, "Hail, brother. Good to see ya. Good to see you too. Hope you're doing well." I never understood hyperspace skipping. No one did. No one did. Maybe it was just designed to distract us from the Holdo maneuver. They just started taking it off the rails. They really did. Oh, you're talking about Deadpool Wolverine. Yeah, I don't know if the cameos are going to do it this time. I don't know if the cameos are actually going to do the same thing that it did for Spider-Man. In fact, I think Spider-Man No Way Home is a better movie than Deadpool Wolverine. I will talk about that a little bit, but before we do, let me talk about this. So apparently Star Wars has now released a new encyclopedia. A new encyclopedia. And what do we notice? What do we notice? We notice that there's no Anakin, no Han Solo, no Darth Vader, no Obi-Wan Kenobi. Luke is in the background, but it's not even Luke, it's Jake. He's in the background. Chewie, R2, 3PO, and Princess Leia are on the periphery. And Padme as well. Are all in the periphery. The forward isn't by George Lucas. I didn't know that. The forward isn't even by George Lucas. Who's it by then? Dave Filoni. Oh, no. Forward by Rosario Dawson. Jeez. Jesus. Okay. I wonder what the forward actually says. This is just them trying to, again, remove real Star Wars from their Star Wars. They're actually doing a better job in regards to helping people like me separate the two. But yeah, doesn't that shock you? No Anakin, no Han Solo, no Darth Vader, no Obi-Wan Kenobi. The last one especially actually surprises me a lot. No Obi-Wan Kenobi. They've done an Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Darth Vader's been their biggest selling point in anything that people talk about when they say something is good, other than Andor. It revolves around Darth Vader. What does everybody speak about when they talk about Rogue One? What is all anyone talks about when they talk about Rogue One? Darth Vader hallway scene. I don't think too many people actually talk about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. G'day, Hayden. How you doing? Yes, it is awful. It's awful. Okay. This is a good question. What character do you think they are going to ruin next? My next guess, I'm guessing probably Tenebrous. Well, to me, they've already done damage to Tenebrous because in the time period of the Acolyte, Tenebrous should be the master, and Plagueis is either just the apprentice or about to become the apprentice. Probably already is the apprentice. But Tenebrous should already be around. That is like they've already done damage to Plagueis with just the one small little cameo that they gave him in the Acolyte because of his age around that time period, but also too, like, what is he doing? You know, but if I was going to say what's the next character that they're going to actually do damage to, like, and we actually see more of it, it would have to be Plagueis. Because I think that they're going to get this season 2. Plagueis or Yoda? Because it's funny, the 2 cameos that they gave us in that final episode, and how they've set all of this up. I mean, the fact that Yoda didn't sense anything, the fact that they're keeping all of this stuff from the High Council, even though the Senate knows, despite the fact that they wanted to keep it from the Senate because, I don't know, because of political rivals, I don't really understand. You know, it's funny, when you watch The Phantom Menace, and in hindsight, these scenes actually bring a lot more life to the universe and world building. But, you know, when Anakin's talking about the Jedi and how the Jedi can't be killed with Qui-Gon and stuff like that when they're sitting around the table. You know, and he does mention the laser sword and all of that sort of thing. The idea around the galaxy, people know who and what Jedi are, and people know what the Jedi are good people. They are to be trusted. And that they seem to always be wanting to do the right thing in the situation that they're in. People in the underground on Coruscant know, and this is the thing too. If they've been able to keep peace in the galaxy for over 1,000 years, wouldn't you think that most people would like the Jedi? The Senate never really had an issue with the Jedi. And they want to make it seem that way. It's fucking bullshit. And this is the thing. Coming out with an encyclopedia like this is the way to give people homework to change their perspectives on characters, change their perspectives and their understanding of certain things. You know, oh, why did Vader say the circle is now complete? When I left you, I was but the learner. Oh, are we referring to that fight in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show where Vader says to Obi-Wan that Anakin is dead? He then doesn't kill him, and he's the one that walks away? Okay. Just change everybody's understanding. Well, that's true. The amount of money that they've got, they'll throw it away. So, yeah, I saw this. I thought, how ridiculous. Trying to prop up their fucking characters. Put Ahsoka right in the middle. Put Jake Skywalker right in the middle and on top. Chuck Grogu in there. Mando. Lando, young Lando, Disney's Lando, Rey with Poe's droid. Didn't that ever blow your mind at the end of The Rise of Skywalker? That Rey somehow knows where Luke grew up on Tatooine. He's got Luke's lightsaber, Leia's lightsaber, Han's ship, which Chewie probably should have inherited. Poe's droid, Luke's sunset, Luke's name, Anakin's name. Like, she's just got everything. Got everything. Let me just move these over. So again, Leslie's still begging for people to go out there and talk about a season 2. I talked about this in a video. Don't know if we talked about it last week so much. I think we did a little bit. So Leslie was asked what fans need to do to ensure a season 2 happens. Truly, any online support and love you can give, you can send the show. That's really what it comes down to, is any love and support that you can send the show. It's a little tricky because of the way that the internet works, which I really didn't understand that, because the way the internet works, wouldn't that make it easier to get your message out there in regards to the fact that you want a season 2? Excuse me. But if you enjoy the show and you want to see more of the story, any support you can give the show on social media platforms would be super helpful. Oh, are we now asking for positive review bombs? Is that what we're now doing? Because, you know, the shills and the seals out there will definitely put out multiple tweets using the hashtag Renew the Acolyte. I have no doubt. Actually, it's interesting. What is the Rotten Tomatoes score at now for the Acolyte? Let's take a look. Still 17%. But it did go up after this campaign was launched. But it's been stuck at now 17 for a while. That critics review dropped to went up to 81. It was at 80 at one point. But isn't this like the opposite to what apparently we were doing? Review bombing it? You're asking people to positive review bomb your show. Oh, Hayden. Do I have to have a shot for that? I think I do. I think I do. Dude. For $100, Hayden 75. I don't have an applause or anything, but what I can give you is fuck. That's not what I meant. I didn't fucking here, we'll do this one.
Hello, what have we here? What have we here?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
He says, you know far more about Star Wars than I. I think you're doing great work. Well, thank you very much, Hayden. I really appreciate that. People discount the fact that BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard are the top three corporate shareholders, in Disney. These companies care about the message more than retirement accounts they control. They care more about, well, look, I don't know. I know of BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street. I know that, and their involvement in these things, but I don't know whether or not they've got the involvement where they can come in and like change stuff. It's just, maybe it's just petered down through the line, the chain of command, you could say. But, you know, somebody like Dave Filoni, like I was sort of saying before, it's crazy to think that somebody that was held in high esteem, you could say, within the Star Wars fan base for a long time, can allow this to happen, but then they go into denial about it. That's what I care more about, is that the people that are actually making it. Yes, I know, I understand that these companies, these massive corporations have a lot of involvement in regards to pushing these messages or this message that they've got. But yeah, thank you, Hayden. I appreciate that. Very humbling. Brett, for $2, says, you know, you're a right cunt. Well, yeah. And then he gives 5 gift memberships. Thank you. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. Let me just go into this really quickly. So the creator Leslie Headland teases how Osha and Chimere fit into the story of Darth, Plagueis, and Palpatine. This is the thing that annoys me, right? Is that this is all that is Leslie Headland knows, is Darth, Plagueis, and Palpatine. You know, in this time period, Palpatine's not even alive. And Plagueis, is he alive? No, I don't think he is. Palpatine, that is. But Plagueis is the apprentice to Tenebris in this time period. You want to know, you want to tell people how Osha and Chimere's story ties into Plagueis and Palpatine. Okay. Okay. That's all you know, Leslie. She says, with Chimera and Osha and Chimere having gone through this positive corrupt arc, okay, and going and coming together in a joining of forces and a romantic pairing, we also wanted to introduce Plagueis as a foreboding complication. Sorry, again, my dyslexia fucks me up sometimes. We know Plagueis's apprentice ends up being Palpatine, so it would be interesting to see how these two red lightsaber carrying warriors fit into the story. They don't fit into the story, Leslie. If you were a Star Wars fan, you would know that. If you were a Star Wars fan, you would know that. But you're not. So you don't know that. Oh, 100%. There is definitely a lot of that, like, a lot of puppets there. Where's the blue dude with red eyes? He was cool in the cartoon. Yeah. But yeah, like this is what it's more about. The romantic pairing. That's what Leslie cares more about. And that's what the Disney Star Wars shills and the Disney Star Wars seals care about. They care about that. I gotta have a shot for this. I do. Hayden, you're a legend. I need to go get a shot glass. All right. I'll just turn my camera off so you're not looking at a chair. Go to the kitchen. Hayden, you're a legend. You're so supportive, and I really appreciate it. It's not to say that everybody else here isn't supportive as well, because you guys are. Very much so. Let's have a shot. Let's have a shot. What do you guys have shots of? Obviously I've been shooting straight bourbon for a while now, and I actually enjoy it more than mixing bourbon with Coke. Like I'll still have like a pre-mixed can or something like that. But Fireball is good. Great on a cold winter's day. Does anybody here shoot vodka? I'm a whiskey drinker straight. Yep. Nice. You're a diamond in the rough. Well, dude, I appreciate that. I'll take a sip of my vodka. I got vodka in the freezer. But see, I prefer to mix vodka. Vodka and orange, like vodka and orange juice or raspberry something. Oh, I don't even need my headphones right now. But I do like vodka. Cheers, Hayden. Oh. Chase it with some Coke. Especially the initial couple of drinks. Once you're actually a little bit tipsy and a little bit wasted already, having a shot doesn't do anything. Man, I got this fucking like, I don't know what it is. Fucking little pimple on my eye. That's that done. So yeah, Leslie's an idiot. But give her a season 2, like, please. It sounds ridiculous, I know. But see, this is the thing. I actually like the fact that they're destroying it more and more. That sounds ridiculous. I don't like the fact that they're destroying it more and more, but the fact that they're destroying it more and more, like I said, it actually gives me the ability to separate it easier. Separate Disney Star Wars from Star Wars. You know, I've now been able to sit down and watch Empire or watch Return of the Jedi or watch Revenge of the Sith or watch any of them, to be honest with you, and be able to keep it now separate from Disney Star Wars. And the more that they do, the less of a connection it's going to end up having to Star Wars. Don't you reckon? What is that you're saying there in the chat? In the chat. I saw it here. Hold on. Is it Kenpai? Kenpai? Is that like cheers? It's cheers. Isn't that what Mr. Miyagi says when he's drunk? Kenpai! You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Bring on season 2 of The Acolyte. Bring it on. Bring it on. All right, let's watch this first. Star Wars Theory. You know my thoughts on Star Wars Theory. If you've been around a long time, I've been at Star Wars Theory, and not that he even knows who I am, but I have definitely criticized Star Wars Theory for his lack of criticism towards Disney Star Wars. Basically, I have viewed him as being in denial. I viewed him as being a fence sitter, and I'm not yet at the point where I'm not going to say that he's still not those things, because I have, despite what we've got through the Acolyte and stuff, I have seen clips of him supporting and backing Dave Filoni still. So we're not quite there yet, but he is paying more attention now. He's definitely paying more attention now. So I came across this clip and I thought that we could just watch it. Let's take a look at this. So he put this tweet out there. He's like, damn, bro. The Acolyte gets worse from the interviews even after it's over. Well, yeah, we've been covering still a lot of that. Let's see what he actually has to say.
And it's not like this is the first time Yoda has hidden something from the Senate and the... Now we got Kiadi Mundi corroborating. We got Yoda knowing about all of this and the deaths and all that stuff. Yeah. So now, officially, he is going to tell him about her Padawan, Chimere. He's going to tell him that he turned to the dark side. He's got a red lightsaber and he killed all these other Jedi. Either way, they've put themselves into a corner with Yoda. My God, I wish this was never made. Or just don't interject these characters, or don't write it the way you did. And it's not like...
No, like, I wish it was never made as well. But to a degree, I'm happy that it was made because, like I said, this is giving me the ability to separate it more.
It's the first time Yoda has hidden something from the Senate and the Republic, she says. In the Clone Wars Season 6, it's revealed that he covered up the creation of the clone army.
Oh, so she's confirming that Yoda knows this stuff. Now, it's the other thing too is that if you're a Star Wars fan, you should know that he already knows. He should already know. He should already sense the deaths of a lot of these characters that have died, these Jedi that have died. Mr. Grant Gregory for $2 says, Rhino loves theory confirmed. I always knew. Hashtag pride. Funny. But yeah, like this. I would like to have a chat with Theory. I would like to just have a discussion with him about. And I don't know how much it's going to do though, because even during the times of the Stargriff streams when Mauler and Ryan were talking about how bad Filoni has been and showing and telling what the things have been that he has done damage to, whether it be The Mandalorian, whether it be Obi-Wan Kenobi, all of these things. Like, honestly, Theory, out of everything that we've got from Disney Star Wars, how much of it do you actually like? How much of it actually do you like? I'm really curious, actually, now that I think about it. What did you think of Mandalorian? Season 1, 2, and 3. I know that he doesn't like 3. But what did you like about 2 and what did you like about 1? And let's dive into that a little bit. And let me tell you why I don't like it. And let's see if we can find some common ground on whether or not it is actually good or not. Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think we've seen that he doesn't really like that and he doesn't like how much damage that does. Book of Boba Fett. I don't think he really liked that too much either. Ahsoka. I think after him talking with Mauler and Ryan, kind of changed his perspective on it a little bit, but he's still fence riding too much to the point where he can't really shit on Dave Filoni that hard. What else have we had? Bad Batch. There's some good things in there that definitely had maybe some potential, but I don't think that they were. I certainly don't think that they were really that good. And I could explain and articulate why I don't think they are that good and why I think that they are doing damage to it. Andor's another one. Now, it's funny to me that the people that I would think would see Andor for what it is are actually the ones that are praising it. And he thinks, and Star Wars Theory actually thinks that Andor is boring. Brett for $2 says, Rhino Theory is the love-hate schoolyard crush. I'm not quite there yet. I'm not quite there yet to completely, quote-unquote, forgive him for his for what I see as his discretions.
And asked everybody to not say who was behind it. There was a large conversation about including him, but I just thought, I mean, it's my show. Yeah, Leslie, it's your show. And it's also you that are going to take the burden of the destruction of all of the characters. And you're going to take the flack for it. You want to play with these characters. You want to say, I mean, it's my show. It's not your Star Wars. It's
Correct.
Everyone's Star Wars. It's George Lucas's Star Wars. Everything that came before has to be respected. You can't fuck with these characters and play around with them because it's my show. Okay? You need to really understand what you are doing, what you are playing with. You're playing with legendary characters, the world's biggest IP ever. And you are playing around with that because you think it'd be something interesting and fun to do because it's my show. You want to put your stamp of your name on something, do it with something else, man. Make your own original, whatever. What is this?
He's starting to see the light. He's starting to see the light. You know what? You know what will get him to really see the light is the next Dave Filoni project doing the same stupid shit. I think that'll break him. I think it'll be painful for him. And I feel sorry for him in regards to that. I do feel sorry for the fact that it's already taken this long. Invite the cunt on, Rhino. Stop the bitching. I've reached out to him. I'll say that much. But getting in touch with him is difficult. And I don't know whether or not he would or not. I've put out on Twitter that he's got this massive Filoni boner, whether or not he's actually read that or not and seen me make those comments. I don't know. I mean, I guess Darth Melvin called him out to the point where he was able to get on with them and talk to him. But I don't know. I'll reach out to him again. I actually really want to talk more to Mauler and some of the guys on EFAP. I would love to just have a discussion with them about Andor, because I don't want them thinking that the reason why I don't like Andor is just because it doesn't have flashy lightsabers. But I also want to give my perspective on why I think that it's not good, despite the fact that it might have a better through line and it might have a better story than any other Star Wars that they've done. I'll concede that. But I'm not going to be fooled by nostalgia being on the screen and then them destroying more characters. Like, they destroyed Mon Mothma in that. They did. Anyway, let's not get down into the Andor rabbit hole. Gina Carano's lawsuit. Thank you, Darth Ghostface, for your 10th month membership. Gina Carano's lawsuit against Disney is officially moving forward after their attempts to dismiss the lawsuit was denied. Yes, I did hear about this. Hopefully, Gina won't settle, and we will go to trial to expose them at Discovery. That would be really nice. I don't think they're going to settle. What could they possibly do for Gina to, like, you listen to the way Gina talks, and especially some of the tweets and some of the things that she said, she's angry. And so she should be. I don't think she should settle. She's got the backing from Elon. And Elon wants to expose Disney just as much as the next person. So why not? Why not? Hayden, 75 for 50. Dude, thank you again. What a legend. All right. Can you give me a rundown of Count Dooku? He's always been my favorite because I saw him as a libertarian type of character, but I admittedly, only know what I was told. Okay. This was actually something that they did in, I think, Tales of the Jedi. They actually kind of destroyed him in that. He was already having problems with the Jedi Council. He was already starting to think that they were losing their way. And after the death of Qui-Gon, that was the final straw, really, for him in regards to wanting to leave the Jedi Order. He is the 20th Jedi to be lost. So you hear about the lost 2021, and Anakin was obviously the 21st. It's funny that they lost two Jedi so quickly within a 3-year period or something, 3 or 4 years. But I tell you what, Hayden, if you want more in regards to Dooku's story, there's not a lot, but there is enough there in the Plagueis novel to give you a good understanding of what Count Dooku's motivations were for leaving the council, what his motivations were for joining Palpatine, and essentially doing what he did. But it's hard for me now to give a full breakdown of the character. But just know that the way that they're portraying these characters through their stuff, whether it be Tales of the Jedi or whether or not you're seeing Thrawn in the Ahsoka stuff or whatever, it isn't those characters that you're seeing. It's their version of the characters that you're seeing. But Dooku saw things, and then, yeah, like I said, with the death of Qui-Gon, that was the catalyst. That was the final straw for him. I'd need to go through it again. You know, another good one too is the Plagueis rundown, the Plagueis novel that I've been doing with Star Wars Marvel Purist with Justin. We've done 2 streams so far. There's the first 10 chapters, then there's the next 10 chapters, and then we're going to be doing the final 10 hopefully next week. But you can check that out as well. But I would that's the book that I would highly recommend to give you some Count Dooku backstory. Yeah. Thank you, Hayden. All right. Let's talk about Star Wars Outlaws really quickly. So they dropped a 10-minute gameplay, 10 minutes of gameplay. This is it here over on their YouTube channel, IGN's YouTube channel, the 10 minutes. Wow, I didn't even notice this before. 12,000 upvotes to 6.62 downvotes. This looks horrible. This looks really, really bad. There's a couple of timestamps in the comments. Let me see if I can find them. Let's see. What's this?
No, not your tooth. A sarlacc
That looks horrible.
tooth. One from its second mouth.
Second mouth. Oh, you won't.
Okay. Let's have a look. I know there's that 3-second thing because that's like the grenade blowing up, which I know looks stupid. It looks really bad. There was somebody talking about like the ripples in the water when they walk through. What's this?
They're headed for us. Oh, got the tooth. I should get out of here.
I've decided I'm not buying any Star Wars games anymore. Any new ones anyway. The last one, like I played Jedi Survivor and what's the other one? Fallen Order. And that's enough for me. The gameplay, like I said, and I think I've said this every time, the gameplay was fun. The story was really bad. And just looking at this game, it looks horrible. Just the way that it looks is horrible. And then I don't need a story for a female Han Solo told in this time period. What's this one? Oh, this is the grenade. Look how bad. Video games have gone so far, and yet this is what they're giving us. Oh, this. Look at the puddles. Look at the splashing. The ripples in the water. Did we get there? Is this the one? Yeah. First of all, the little...
What do you see?
That thing didn't make any ripples in the water. Look at that.
Phew, the tooth. Finally.
Look at that. That looks horrible. That looks so bad. And Ubisoft's not having a good time of it at the moment. They've got this coming up, which is way too expensive for what you're actually getting, and the fact that you need to buy basically a DLC on arrival to basically do all the missions. And then on top of that, you've got the Assassin's Creed. I wonder how that's going to sell. I haven't watched this whole video, and I don't have any interest really in watching the whole video. It looks like, even just looking at that image there, it looks like a Jedi Survivor with a different skin on it, taking place in a different time period with a different type of character. It's all it really looks like. So I don't think Outlaws is going to do well. And I certainly don't think that Assassin's Creed is going to do well at all. I really don't. That's it for that. Let's get rid of that and that and that. Let me bring this up. So let me talk a little bit about Deadpool and Wolverine. Went and saw the movie, and it was fine. It was okay. It was enjoyable. It was dumb fun. It was laughs. There was good comedic moments, and the chemistry between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, or Deadpool and Wolverine, was good. Do I think that it's as good as either of the other two? I don't know that it's definitely not as good as the first one. Don't know about the second one. I actually think that the second one's probably got, like I think I said earlier, a better story. This is just really, it's hollow in the sense that there's not much to it. And I think that once people get through the distraction or the I don't know what better way to say it, actually. The distraction of what they're actually seeing on the screen, the let's say the jangling keys, the cameos and this and that, and they get over that, I think it will be seen as not as good. Not as good. Hayden 75 for $50. I just want to be told more about Dooku. I can read up on him when I have the time, but time is a difficult thing for me to find. Me too. So if you can give a quick rundown, I'd appreciate it. Take my money because I love what you're doing, bro. Well, thank you, dude. That's another shot. That is another shot. Oh man. The thing is I can't remember what the first thing was that made Dooku have second thoughts in regards to the Jedi. Because you got to remember, there was a lot of manipulation happening prior to what we see in The Phantom Menace. There was a lot of work being done by Plagueis and Palpatine. Cheers, by the way. A lot of manipulation being done by Plagueis and Palpatine well before we get to the events of The Phantom Menace. But those things that were happening, you know who I really need right now? I need Justin. Give me my super chat money, man. I need Justin. But okay. Dooku. I can't even remember whether or not he was even offered a seat on the council. Why can't I remember that? It's the problem is with it is it's getting muddled up with Theory would know do better. God. Let me think for a second. Dooku could see that the council was losing their way, was losing their ability to let the Force guide them. They were losing power. To an extent, Dooku noticed and saw that. And he also it was basically because of what Palpatine and Plagueis were doing was what was making Dooku notice that he wanted change. He wanted to see this is where Dooku's actually an interesting Sith, because for the result that he wanted at the end of it all, yeah, he did go dark and he did offer to Obi-Wan to basically pair up with him, partner up with him. He became his apprentice and they could take down the Emperor. But like he was even talking with Plagueis and Palpatine with Cypher Diaz. And I know I'm going back and forward and a bit all over the place here. That's what it was. It was, yeah, Dooku grew tired of the Jedi's lack of action. That's really it. That was the start of it. And then it came to the death of, like I said, Qui-Gon was the straw that broke the camel's back. Oh yeah, there's a great it's so funny that the plan that in the third book of in the Revenge of the Sith book, before Dooku loses his head, there's a conversation that happens between Palpatine and Dooku, where Dooku thinks that this is basically the end of the war. This is where the war will end. He will be placed under arrest. And I don't know how he didn't see that he was being manipulated, though. I don't know how he didn't see that he was being manipulated, but he was. And that's why I will say the book makes that look on his face when he says, kill him now, and then the do it. And the look that the Dooku gives to Palpatine. That's like the perfect look. Read that section of the book, and that's the perfect look that he would give, being that he thought that things were going to go a completely different way. I'm sorry, Hayden. I feel like I'm not giving you your money's worth because I can't honestly remember like the massive amounts of detail in it. But thank you all the same. I want to talk about, like I said, I just want to quickly touch on Deadpool Wolverine, like I was sort of saying. I don't think it's as good as maybe what some people are hyping it up to be. That's really what it comes down to. I want to give a new rating. I gave it a 5 out of 10 on when I was talking with Shadowversity about it. And like I said, you can go and check out my review on Night's Watch. It is a spoiler review. I'm not going to give any spoilers here, but I think it's a little bit better than a 5 out of 10. I'll at least give it a 6 out of 10 because it was fun and I did laugh and I got a little bit of enjoyment out of it. But the story is hollow. Man, I get that. Dude, the best thing that I find is the audiobooks. The audiobooks, they're produced that well. Let me say this. The audiobooks are produced that well that you can pretty much sort of close your eyes and immerse yourself in your imagination of the universe because of how well they are produced and the sound effects and things like that. I always listen to my audiobooks when I'm going to sleep and on drives. They're the best time. I do know that I try to listen to YouTube streams and videos and stuff while I'm driving as well. So there's a lot there to gauge and a lot there to get. But if you can just find a time slot and listen to some audiobooks while you're doing your work or whatever the case may be, that's where I always find the best time to do all of that. Oh, I didn't know about that. I'm more interested in Christopher Lee's life than Dooku. Watched excellent video about it by Count Dankula. That's interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same, Hayden. I watch that much YouTube. I very rarely watch TV. Even when I'm like sitting around, like watching a movie or something, sometimes I'll just be scrolling through and it's like, oh, I want to watch this. I'll pause the movie and watch the video or watch this, section of a stream or something like that. YouTube has become a lot more, for want of a better way of saying it, mainstream to like just general watching. You know what I mean? Mr. Bet, how you doing? Beat. Hi chat, Mods and Rhino. How you doing? Good to see you. All right, well, this stream, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a shorter one, and I didn't really want to go for too long. A lot of the Acolyte streams went for like 3.5 to 4.5 hours. I'd like to do maybe next week. I'll try and get a couple of people on that watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and we can actually go through a bit more of a spoiler discussion. I don't want to. It's one of those movies where I think it's good enough that I don't want to spoil too much. And again, if you don't care, or if you've already watched it, you can go over to Shadowversity, or sorry, go over to oh fuck, what's the name of the channel? Why am I blanking? Night's Watch. And check out our review over there. It's full of spoilers and everything. But maybe next week I'll get a few people on. I know Grant's watched it, so maybe we can get him on. We maybe get Shadowversity on as well. We went and saw that together. And I don't know, I'll see if I can get a couple of others and we can actually have a full-on in-depth discussion about what we did and didn't like about it and all of that sort of thing. But just as an overview and my general thoughts on it, I don't think it's as good as people have hyped it up to be. I think the story is lacking, and there's only so far that the cameos can go, and there's only so far that this is I don't think it's going to age well. I don't think it's going to age well because they do take a lot of shots at wokeness and this and that it places it in time. It's again, not to say that you can't have those things in there, but it does a lot of that. So I will Soul Assassin. I'll check it out. All right, let's do Seal of the Week. And let's watch Grizzy, shall we? You guys have been awesome tonight. Hayden, you're the MVP with your massive super chats. And I'm sorry, I hope, I probably didn't give you money's worth and I feel really bad about it on the Dooku stuff. And for that, I apologize. Because I probably should know more. I've read the books enough and I probably should know more about it. But I don't know why my head's just not working. Where am I? There we are.
I'm the Jedi.
All right, here we go. Nominee number 1. Love seeing the seal clap emojis in the chat. You guys are awesome. All right, here we go. Emperor Palpatine coming back was a peak Star Wars moment for me. Okay. Weirdos. There you go. Ask OG. She probably... Again, I should know. I feel horrible. All right, so that's nominee number 1. It's peak Star Wars. Palpatine's return was peak Star Wars. Here we go. It is time. Hashtag renew the Acolyte from Saya. Let's have a listen to what she has to say, shall we?
Calling all Star Wars fans, if you loved The Acolyte, because I certainly loved The Acolyte. Get out there and start using the hashtag renew the Acolyte on all platforms. This show was so amazing, and it deserves a lot more love than it got online. So tonight is the night. Hashtag renew the Acolyte on this app, on IG, on X. Scream your love, and if you're anything like me, your insanity for this show as loud as you possibly can.
Insanity is the right word.
Wait for a season 2 announcement. Calling all...
Oh, God. There you go. There's a little bit of promotion. Seal clapping her way through it. Then we've got Brooks. Now, this was the one that I retweeted. The Acolyte didn't break canon. Pass it on. They got 4,000 likes. Let me just quickly see. I'd like to get more likes than they got on theirs. And I retweeted theirs. So I don't think we're quite there yet. Let me have a look. No, unfortunately. Hashtag the Acolyte did break canon. Pass it on. We got 3.5. That's not bad. That's not bad. So that's nominee number 3. And nominee number 4 comes from the same account. The he, him, of course, pronouns in bio. The Acolyte gave us cortosis, kyber crystal bleeding, lightsaber whip, force vergences, and Darth fucking Plagueis. It should be a lore nerd's dream, but a YouTuber was mad about lesbian witches. No, We had criticism on all of the stuff that you mentioned. And the lesbian witches was just a bonus. Hashtag renew the Acolyte. So there are your 4 nominees for this week, guys. Your 4 nominees. Let me put the poll in the chat. Seal of the week. 1, 2, 3, 4. Poll is up. Yeah. All right. Get your votes in. So just going through them again. Emperor Palpatine coming back as peak Star Wars moment. We want to renew the Acolyte. It's time. She loves the Acolyte because you see that blanket she got? She got sent that for nothing. Then we've got Brooks with the Acolyte didn't break canon. And we've also got Brooks with the fact that everything that we saw in the Acolyte should be a nerd's wet dream. But, you know, because somebody mentioned lesbian witches means that, you know, we hate all that other stuff because of the lesbian witches. So dumb. So dumb. Let's get rid of that. All right, let's watch Grizzy's video, shall we? If you're not subscribed to Grizzy, you know what to do. You know what to do. Yeah, all of them. Yeah, they all deserve a what's the word? A ribbon. All right, we're going to watch episode 8's reactions. Here we go. We need audio, please. Grizzy does some great work, guys. Here we go.
You have enough things in life to worry about. Losing your hair does not have to be one of them. Stand up and finally say, I'm tired of losing my hair, and I'm not going to anymore.
That was Leslie Headland's wife, by the way. Now, was her performance in this series memorable or significant? I don't think so, and neither do you.
Well, like anyone cares about fucking dykes.
Here we go, the final episode. Breathing, heavy breathing.
It's the mask.
Yeah.
I thought it was something else.
Damn, Lord.
You thought they were doing each other, didn't you?
She did.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, the funny thing is that they're saying, oh my gosh, and they have no idea what's actually going on, just like everybody else.
My God.
So we go together and see who gets to her first.
And maybe make out on the ship on the way.
You're not even sisters.
Shippers, man.
You're...
Oh! Oh! Pip! She's using Pip for bad, and I don't like it. As I like Pip.
Shut the fuck up, you fat fucking cow.
I think the Jedi are a massive system of unchecked power. How is your...
This guy sounds like he's made serious efforts in transitioning into a woman. Surgery and all.
This would mean...
But not only that, he's fucking like... They're not even asking any questions. Like, what? You should be asking more so, what the fuck are you talking about? Than why are you saying what you're saying? But they're not even asking either of those things.
You know, I'm not really a woman. I'm just a guy with a mutilated penis.
Basically, yes.
Oh, here we go.
Disney just couldn't help themselves, could they?
Hang on, this is gonna be bad.
Is it Plagueis? It's Plagueis! Oh my god! Is it Plagueis?
Oh, that's Plagueis! Oh my god!
It's Plagueis! It's Plagueis! It's Plagueis!
Did you notice that this bitch here, she's like, it's Plagueis, it's Plagueis, is it Plagueis? Is it Plagueis?
That's Plagueis! It's Plagueis!
Oh
Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
That was Plagueis. Am I wrong? That looked like a mun. That looked like a mun.
A mun. A mun.
No,
That looked like a mun.
I think my balls just warbled.
Hey, now.
Well, I guess he likes the cock after all.
That was Plagueis!
Yes, he fucking.
That was Plagueis!
Fucking Lich Lord motherfucker.
Dude, he looks so good!
You know,
You barely see him. You barely see him. And notice that not one of them's asking, like, where's he been this whole time? Like, what, just snooping around in this cave, watching Osha sleep, wake up, watching May when she was there?
because you met with Dave Filoni and Leslie Headland a week before this show came out, I don't find your reactions genuine.
No.
I look at this and see, please, Lucasfilm, invite me back for the next show, and I will continue shilling for your content and doing fake scripted reactions like this.
Wait, what? He's faking.
Hello? Is that a witch? Oh my god, if that's cornmeal.
I'm gonna die. Oh man. Wow. Is that a witch? That's funny. That is really funny.
Or whatever her name was that ruined everything and I hate her. I would not be surprised.
You're not very bright, are you? Oh, it's Mother Coral, bitches.
It's Mother. They thought that too.
Bunch of dumbasses. Yeah, really.
Is that Plagueis or something?
Plagueis. Is that Plagueis or something? Let's have a look at his face when she says it. G'day, X-Wing. How you doing, brother? Fucking tourists.
Yeah, really.
Is that Plagueis or something?
Oh man, I want to see the rest of that. I want to see him turn and go, what did you just call him?
Unorthodox, but I shall see what I can do.
Who is she talking to? Was that Palpatine?
Smash the like button if you think these people are idiots.
Yeah. Palpatine, how old would Palpatine be in this time period? Like negative something?
That was very Anakin Holloway right there.
Cunt.
This shot? Okay. Incredible.
Oh.
Bro.
They can't sit there and say, no, I didn't even like this. Just this what little bit of the fight. It looks stupid.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my goodness, Soul!
Bicycle kick.
Why the fuck is you so loud?
That was cool.
That's ow! Oh! Oh, it can come back though. It could come back like a boomerang. Watch out! Watch out! Watch out!
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
Holy crap! What's about to happen?
Nice. Sick. Damn. That was awesome. That was awesome. That was awesome.
That was shit.
Let's go.
Bro. Oh my god.
That was
Oh
incredible.
my god.
These guys would give Dave Filoni a hand job if it meant more Disney Lucasfilm access. I can just see them sitting in his office like,
You want us to twist what is long with those sensitive hands?
He wants us to jerk him off.
I could have used like twice the length, but I'm happy to take what I can get, honestly.
Damn. Screaming is acting.
The martial arts is really fun in this.
Nice.
Oh, that was cool.
Wow, that was really nice.
That was nice.
this is absolute dog shit.
Absolute
this is cool.
This is really cool.
I want to remind you that this was the one that that got clipped out on Twitter when Smilo was getting in the water and she was thirsting all over him, and he was just sitting there like, I wish I didn't have to listen to my missus talk about thirsting over this fucking stupid scene.
No.
This was so dumb.
Interesting. Cool.
No. Just no.
Damn, Soul is a fucking boss.
No, god damn it.
No, he's not. Not anymore.
No, she's going to the dark side right now. It's over.
It's like Anakin.
Oh my god!
I can't believe I have to say this, but this is not like Anakin.
Oh, it's bleeding.
Oh, fake tears, fake cry.
Are you seriously gonna
What?
cry over this?
I'm glad you did.
Oh my god. I liked that scene. I bought that scene.
Look at her. She's a regular old Darth Vader.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh my god.
If I can find you, so can the Jedi.
And so Osha agrees to train with the stranger. In exchange, he will let May live. He agrees, but only after he wipes the last 16 years of her memories, which reminds me of how Revan lost their memories in Knights of the Old Republic.
Their memories. Did you notice how he referred to Revan as their memories? Did you notice that? It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming. The non-binary Revan is happening.
Reminds me of how Revan lost their memories in Knights of the Old Republic.
We need to talk.
Jingle keys.
Oh shit!
Yoda!
Yes! Yes!
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Yes! Oh!
How many loads did he just blow?
And that's it?
Fucking go.
That's the Acolyte Season 1.
Fucking
Yeah, it was
yes.
shit.
Fucking yes. Yes.
Oh! Oh! Oh, yes! Yes!
Thanks for watching, everyone, and thank you for watching
Thanks.
this.
Thanks for making them, Grizzy. Oh, it's painful, but it's funny. There's the link. Like I said, it just goes to show that all they need to do is jangle the keys. All they need to do is do, like, show references to Star Wars, and that's enough for these people. It's enough for these people. What a joke. What a joke Star Wars has become, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's wrap up Seal of the Week and get the flock out of here. Okay. So, let's see. Oh, we got 26 votes. Can we get 30? So this is number 1. Palpatine's return is peak Star Wars. Number 2 is a little promotional video from Saya on renewing the Acolyte. We got Brooks at number 3 saying that the Acolyte didn't break canon. And then we've got also Brooks saying, like, all the nostalgia that they threw on the screen and, Disney lore and stuff like this. And because a YouTuber said that it's got lesbian witches means that, it's not what the nerds wanted because of that. There's number 4. Can we get a couple more votes in? Can we get a couple more votes in? Let me play this while we wait.
R4. Prepare to jettison the spare part canisters.
Red 2, standing by.
Red 11, standing by.
Red 5, standing by.
Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil!
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Well, then you are lost!
All right. All right, we got one more vote. All right, let's end the poll. Oh, we had a tie last week. We actually need another couple of votes. between 1 and 4, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we got 28, and that changed the figures. Let's end it there. All right. Show me the results. Here we go. So, in last place with 17% of the votes was number 3, Brooks, saying that the Acolyte didn't break canon. In second last place, or third place, with 21% of the vote was Saya with her little video wanting everybody to use the hashtag Renew the Acolyte. In second place, runner-up this week was Brooks again with 28% of the vote, saying that we should be happy, basically, with all of these things that we got. But because a YouTuber said that it's got lesbian witches means that everybody thinks that it's bad. It's not really how that works, but okay. And the winner of this week's Seal of the Week with 32% of the vote, Emperor Palpatine coming back, was a peak Star Wars moment for me. Well, good for you, I guess. And congratulations, you win this week's Seal of the Week.
I'm all the Jedi.
Star Wars Scran says he can't stay, but he'll watch the replay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Loving the seal clapping emojis. And Hayden75 for $20 says no, Grizzy wins. Well, Grizzy's not a seal, but he definitely wins in regards to putting seal content out there for us to see all the seals clap and all that shit. Have a good one. You too. You too. All right, guys. That's pretty much where we're going to wrap it up this week. 2.5 hours. It's a nice little short one. I am going to put the link. I'm going to put the link to the Jack Show in the chat. I got to work out how to raid. Actually, send people. Can I figure that out now? Hold on a second. Let me see. How do I redirect? Do I do it? No, I don't do it from there. Do I have to do it from the studio? Go over to the Jack Show and give him a Rhino raid. Let him know you've come over from Raging Rhino. Let me see here. Okay, I don't know. I need to figure it out. I'll ask. I know Flash knows how to do it and a few others. But yes, go over and watch more of the Jack Show. Oh, I'm putting it in the wrong place. I want to put it in my chat, not their chat. I was about to put the link to their own stream in their chat. There we go. You guys have been awesome once again. Hayden, you were definitely the MVP this week, and I appreciate the support. I really do. I do appreciate everybody for being here. You guys are all awesome. Everybody that did send a super chat and became a member or sent member chats, you guys are. I really do appreciate the support, the ongoing support. We will be back next week. Like I said, next week maybe we'll get a few people on and we'll have a good old long, probably a bit more of a long form chat on the Deadpool and Wolverine. So I just wanted to sort of give my initial thoughts on it, which I think I did well enough. Is there anything else? Oh, the Full Aussie's starting back up this weekend. So tomorrow night, or depending on where you are in the world, Saturday morning, Saturday night, we will be back with the standard Full Aussie show. And then from there, we will be making an announcement in regards to our movements on that channel moving forward, and the things that we will be continuing to do and everything. So stay tuned for that. If you're not subscribed to the Full Aussie, go over and give us a sub over there. As for my channel here, I'm going to keep trying to put out as many videos as I possibly can. Casual Rage will continue going. And then obviously later on in the week, or on the weekend, Sunday or Saturday night, depending on where you are in the world, Flashcast. Yeah. The Full Aussie, don't give me hope. No, we're back this weekend. We are back this weekend. 100%. And hopefully everybody should be on. And it should be good. It should be good. All right. Go watch the Jack Show. Give him a Rhino raid. We will see you all next week for another Casual Rage. Where's my videos here? All right. Bye, everybody.
You'd better put a chick in it. And make it fucking gay as fuck.
What?
That is so lame.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt!
A few minutes? Are you kidding at the rate they're gaining?
No, what is it? You have to shoot this. Traveling through hyperspace is like dusting crops, kid. Without precise calculations, we fly too close to a store. They're bounce into a supermarket and then...
Yeah.
Be a hell of a mess.
What's that?
Watch. You're losing the deflector shields. Go strap yourselves in. Be careful on the way out.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking it very cautiously.
You... Go away!
We bounced too near a supermarket?